watching me from the depths below. A haunted grave where shadows grow. Deadpit is watching me with eyes so cold. They're watching me now.
Howdy, folks, and welcome to episode 24 of Deadpit is Watching. I am Uncle Bill.
And I am the creepy Kentuckian, if you will. Can you believe it? 24 episodes of Deadpit is Watching. And man, oh man, we have an action-packed plethora, baby, from all genres of film and releases to talk about this week, right?
I mean, that really is kind of an understatement this week because, like, we got everything from family comedies from the 90s to DIY zombie films to freaking brand new blockbusters.
Are there brand new blockbusters? That is the question. Blockbusters today are different than ones of, the 20 years back.
In as much as like a movie can be a blockbuster nowadays, yeah.
It's a butt buster nowadays.
Yeah, it's a stream buster, I guess.
Yeah. So I'm going to let you kick it off, Uncle Bill. I think you got more movies than me this go around. So which one do you want to kick this bad boy off with?
That's a good question. I guess it's only fair that we start with like one of the wildest, like most unexpected movies that I've seen in a while, and that is Ozone, Attack of the Redneck Mutants from Visual Vengeance and Wild Eye Releasing. This is not the J.R. Bookwalter Ozone. I know that is what a lot of people think of when they think of like an independent film named Ozone. But yeah, this is a Matt Devlin film. And I had never heard of this, never seen anything about it. But that's one of the good parts about being, on this show and doing this for as long as we have. Sometimes you get stuff like this that's kind of flies under the radar that is actually hilarious.
Yeah, and this is the first time I think that we have taken a look at a Visual Vengeance title in quite some time. It's a subdivision of Wild Eye Releasing. It's kind of like their boutique label, right?
Yeah. And to be honest with you, before we even start about the movie, like I was amazed at the packaging of this shit. So first of all, the cover looks great. But secondly, when you open it up, so, I mean, the disc itself, the outside looks amazing, but you've got like all of these stickers. You got like VHS stickers.
Yep.
You've got a barf bag.
Oh, you got to love the barf bag. It's a mutant puke bag, it says.
You got a poster. Like all kinds of shit. The official comic book adaptation.
Well, everybody wants that. That'll be worth a fortune as a collector's
I
item,
mean,
man.
It really is like a cool special edition of this movie, though. And okay, for those people that are not familiar with this, like I wasn't familiar with it, it's your basic story. So, in terms of like a biological hazard kind of zombie movie. So there's a toxic chemical spill in Texas, I believe it is. And after the spill, it tears open. Apparently the ozone layer must have been huge around 1986 because that's when this came out. It tears open the ozone layer, which creates like this, infestation of zombie ghouls / infected persons, biological infection kind of things. What's the funniest part about this movie to me, though, is they dubbed most of the audio in it, and they just got, I guess they got people, they had to be from, like, really from the South, like, somehow or another, because it sounds like we did it, is the funny thing, because you got scenes where they're like, one in particular where there's, like, this old woman and, like, their son or grandson or something, and it sounds like just like people from around here having a talk. Like, the guy's like, they better not bring their fucking asses around my property. And then the woman's like, yeah,
we'll whip somebody's ass.
Oh, like, yeah, we'll blow the shit out of them. And like, there's a truck driver in this that talks just like everybody. from around
Is
here.
this shot on video?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, Visual Vengeance, most of their stuff is SOV, which a lot of people like and a lot of people don't like. It's kind of a mixed.
Well, here's the thing: 99% of the time, I hate shot on video stuff. But and I'm gonna be honest with you, I think it's because like we're from the South, and that I got such a kick out of hearing some of this shit because it really sounded like people from around here. Like if something like this happened, like trying to deal with it. But yeah, 1986 shot on video. I'd never heard of it. It's got some great practical gore effects, and it's got some goofy shit in it too. Like there's a lot of like, they show the shadow of a wall and then somebody was like throwing blood against it. A lot of that kind of stuff is in it. But there are like some cool practical gore effects.
So this is no connection at all to the Ozone movie from Tempe
No.
Video.
No. On the back of it, it says a Super 8 splatter oddity sister film to Brett McCormick's The Abomination. This remains a true DIY regional relic, long overshadowed by its limited VHS release in the late 80s. So, yeah, this doesn't have
I thought
anything
you said
to
it was
do.
made in 96.
No, it's made in 86.
86, okay.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's weird because most of the 80s movies, especially like movies like this, I'd heard of at least, but I've never heard of this.
Like The Abomination, I mean, that was one that name had been floating around forever. That just kind of like I guess they were saying it kind of goes with that sort of thing. Just crazy gore, low budget, SOV stuff.
I mean, I still don't think it's like as good practical effects wise as like, Splatter Farm or those movies that were made around the same time. A lot of John McBride stuff and the Polonia brothers, and those to me are like the pinnacle of that craze of goofy like comedy gore movies. But it's pretty good. It's not bad.
Okay. So Wild Eye Releasing and Visual Vengeance has this out, and they do a great job with this deluxe packaging, man. It looks like Tom Hodge, aka the Dude Designs,
Yep.
did that one as well. I think he's working pretty exclusively with Visual Vengeance.
Yeah, I mean, the artwork and the packaging's amazing. Oh, by the way, there's like a shit ton of special features on here. I'm not going to go through all of it, but there's a lot of like commentaries, featurettes, interviews, different stuff like that too.
One that I want to kick off on my side is kind of an interesting one because I'd watched this movie not long after it came out. We did a commentary. The first time I watched this movie, we did a commentary for it. It was on Rambo Raff's channel. And I had heard a lot of people that look, the hardcore horror fans, the ones that had been around a while, not too many of them liked it. A lot of the younger fans loved it. It was people, you either loved it or you hated it. I don't think there was any like, oh, it was okay. And when I watched it again, and this time I watched it with no interruptions, there was no cackling, there was nobody to kind of go back and forth with. I believe that I hated it even worse this go around. Like I was thinking, well, maybe it's not as bad as we were talking about. And the movie that we're talking about is, of course, I don't have the physical copy, but Arrow Video released this limited edition 4K of Lee Cronin's Evil Dead Rise from 2013. And this is, Arrow Video had a fantastic 2025. But this one, I think technically this came out early in January. But this one was confusing to me. Like I'm not sure why they already chose this for a re-release again. There are some new special features on it, but this movie already received a 4K disc from, I think it was Warner Brothers that did the mainstream release. And I think a lot of people were asking the same thing, like what would make them want to quickly go ahead and re-release this one again? I mean, Evil Dead Burns My Ass, or whatever the new one is. That one's coming out, I think, later this year, but it's not out yet. This only came out like 3 years ago. Not even 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago. Why do you think that Arrow decided to give this such a quick re-release?
Well, here's the thing about that movie that I've come to kind of like understand. It really does have a following, mostly because of that lead actress and her goofy ass shenanigans in that movie. I can only surmise that that's probably part of it, along with like them trying to cash in on the new movie hype of Burn and all that.
And Lee Cronin's got The Mummy? That's what it is. Lee Cronin's The Mummy.
Can you imagine
Coming
how
soon.
fucking shitty that'll be? By the way, if they don't quit remaking these damn Universal movies, man,
Oh, they're
like,
not going to quit.
they always fail too. I don't understand, but yeah, just keep doing it. Maybe one day they'll run out of money.
Evil Dead Rise, though, man.
It sucks. It sucked then, and I'm sure it still sucks now because like I
And
watched it twice, like almost like right in a row.
Yeah.
We did the commentary, and then there was like right before that we saw it in
We did.
theaters.
Yeah, dude, this is just like, and a lot of people are curious why, hey, the hardcores kind of like love the 2013 one, but they're shitting on the Evil Dead Rise. Why? Evil Dead 2013 was not perfect by any means, but at least it was a good looking movie. It felt like an Evil Dead movie. This one didn't in any way feel like an Evil Dead movie. Essentially, if you don't have Bruce Campbell there, he is Evil Dead. And I've always felt this. Like, I think if they continue on, and they're basically making it like a generic possession like movie, which over the top gore and splatter and stuff, people will forgive just about anything if there's enough of that in it. And this is a case, I think, of that. Now, this movie that has an opening scene that is set the next day, right after all the events that happen in this movie. And they have a little bit of an action scene going there for the first 5 to 10 minutes with some propeller blades that are awfully strong. I don't know if they really make them like that on a drone. But anyway, like, the movie starts and it's all in this apartment complex. Drab, dreary. The entire movie looks like this. Even the beginning part that's outdoors and at a lake or whatever, it's just very dull. I don't know, desaturated. It's not a good looking movie either. So it's not one that even benefits, in my opinion, 4K. But anyway, you follow this miserable family of, the mother who's recently divorced, her 3, there's one young little girl that you kind of feel for. The other 2 kids, you're like, they're both assholes, so who cares? And then the mother's sister comes to visit, who is kind of estranged. And ultimately what happens is there's like an earthquake that shakes something loose. And I guess it's the Necronomicon. Did they ever really explain that? Because I missed that again. The boy finds the Necronomicon book.
Yeah.
Is it shaken loose from the walls or something from the earthquake?
I just remember there was an earthquake, and then he goes down there, and isn't it like an old church or something like that? That's like underneath there, or like a cavern to a church or something like that.
Possibly.
And then like he just finds it in there, as far as I know.
And the cool thing is, much like The Secret of the Mogwai back in the day, it come with a record. You like it?
That's right.
The book comes with a record.
Yeah, it's a limited edition. Like
vinyl is all the craze now. It's a limited edition vinyl that this guy made that has the chant on it, and is ultimately what.
He
And
had like the red swirls put in it and everything.
yeah, the adapters, yeah.
Yep.
He played. Didn't he try to play it backwards or something like that, like Suicide Solution?
Yep.
Oh God, that's so fucking stupid. It's supposed to have been from the 20s too. Where in the fuck could you get a record made in the 20s? That's one of the dumbest. That's one of the dumbest fucking things ever.
That's not even halfway the dumbest thing that happens in this movie, though.
No, but I mean the explanation for that, like it's on a fucking record, boys. Let's play it backwards. And that's what brings the demons out, or whatever, the Evil Dead. And isn't the mother? The mother's a tattoo artist too, right?
I think that was probably the most annoying part of this whole movie to me was the characters and just how like they try to make them, I don't know, like awkward and kind of relatable, I guess, and edgy, but they just nobody seems to know what they're doing, or that you don't even really get to know any of them for more than 20 seconds to care.
You don't care either. Yeah, you really don't. The cast is
weird though. Like in the original Evil Dead, you don't really know those characters either, but for some reason, like they seem more human than this, where you got like, you know, how many are millions of dollars?
Like all these cast members that pretty much hate each other and hate their lives.
Yeah.
And it's just such an ugly looking movie. Such a shitty looking movie, too. Like, that's the thing. Like, I can forgive a lot. Like, I'm not a big fan of that Evil Dead 2013 movie. I don't love it. But visually, that movie looks great. He did a great job. That looks like it's a good looking movie. This is not. But anyway, the first one to get God is the mother, which her name in the movie is Ellie. And what does she do, Uncle Bill, when she first gets possessed? She wants to fry some fucking eggs. And
I forgot about that. She's just in there throwing eggs like into a pan.
Yeah, she wants some shells with her eggs.
What is it she says to? It's see, this is the other part about this movie that bothered me: the horrible dialogue that they had between, like, when they get possessed or whatever.
She's got "Mommy's with the maggots now."
Yeah.
Oh gosh! But eventually, like all of the kids get possessed, like without giving it away, because who cares? You don't want to watch this. I mean, I love Arrow Video. If you're a fan of this movie, this is the best edition of the movie for sure. But there's nothing like super interesting that happens in this movie. Nothing really. What do you think of that?
What?
Is there anything memorable, or like there's some lines in it that are laughably awful?
Yeah, there's a couple memorable parts that, like, I never will forget sitting there in the theater and watching that scene where I don't know, remember which one it is. One of the kids gets possessed or something, and she's eating glass, and they come in there, and they're like, "What the hell are you doing?" And like, "I'm trying to get rid of all these maggots in my belly willy." She really does say Bailey. I got maggots in my belly.
Creepy crawlies.
Oh God.
Don't you think the movie is actually, it looks like a section of Halloween Horror Nights or something too? Like it looks like a generic fucking it looks like shit.
It looks incredibly generic. It looks like a Lionsgate film, similar to, like, you know, all those ones that came out in the early 2000s. That's what it looks like to me. And also, it wasn't just all of that stupidity too, but when it gets to the end of the movie and they've got that damn thing creature that's, you know, all those parts, like, you know, mashed together or what. I was just sitting there thinking, like, this is not an Evil Dead movie. This is some shitty, like, I don't even know what. Just like a
and it
doesn't
feel like an Evil Dead movie. And I think I mean, that's what they're going for, because they want to make this a series. This movie did do well. It had lots of like gore and splatter and stuff in it. And a lot of younger fans kind of forgive everything else if that's in it. I mean, that's ultimately what it is, I think.
I'll tell you the truth though. I never could understand. Well, I guess I could understand it, but I can't figure out why people, the same people that hated like the Evil Dead remake, love this movie a lot of the time. And to me, like the Evil Dead remake is a vastly superior movie to that movie
In every
And,
way.
yeah, the acting's better, the dialogue's better. I mean, it does. I think the only thing is like it does have a serious tone almost all the way through. Like there's really no jokes or silly shit that happened in that movie. So I guess that for that reason, maybe a lot of people, would prefer the stupid version, which is Evil Dead Rise, where it's like the goofiest shit you can imagine happens.
There is a lot of jizz speeding in this. We hadn't mentioned that. That happens
of
quite a bit. But yeah, man, I'm not a fan of this. This was, and my wife was watching it with me this time too, and she said numerous times that this movie was stupid and just gross. So it's not just us. Like some people love this though. So hey, if you love it, all the power to you. Arrow Video has a killer edition of this with lots of new special features and interviews, all kinds of stuff that wasn't in the initial release. And this one is out now, and it is fairly priced. I think they've already had this one on sale for around $25, $26 in 4K. The 4K, I mean, hey, it looks fine for what it is, but this is not, in my opinion, a movie that really benefits from a 4K. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if you've got like a $10,000 TV like Mark has, you might be able to tell the difference. But to me, this is just like watching a Blu-ray.
That movie ain't no fucking good.
I'm gonna put this disc right in there with the maggots all.
Right
in
now.
my oven. But yeah. That is Evil Dead Rise, the 4K limited edition. It is out now from Arrow Video.
So up next, I'm still trying to figure this out. And I'll probably never figure it out unless somebody that knows behind the scenes stuff like kind of lets me know. But for now, I'm just going to review this Troma. I love Troma, by the way. This Troma Blu-ray, the Traumatic Special Edition of Frightmare. Now, when I say that I have trouble figuring this out, it's because Vinegar Syndrome released this movie not too long back. And I know Vinegar Syndrome.
It was a while. I think it was a while ago, probably 6 or 7 years ago at least.
Yeah, and then they re-released it with like another like slipcover and shit like that. And I mean, I know they've got like a working relationship with Troma, and they do these things for them. So I was watching this, and I was like, "This is one of the best looking Troma releases that I've seen." And then I started to think, probably what they did was they just somehow or another got the transfer.
Yeah.
Scan from Vinegar Syndrome and just used it in this.
Oh, that's
there's
definitely
no
what
way.
they did. Definitely what they did for sure.
There's no way that that's like an actual Troma release. You know what I mean?
There is a few movies called Frightmare as well. I think we reviewed another one from the 70s a few episodes back. But yeah, this is a Frightmare from the 80s, correct?
1983, yeah. And I'd seen it, but it had been a long time. But it is definitely, I mean, I would be amazed if it's not the Vinegar Syndrome scan. And that's what I was hoping somebody could tell me, like after we do this show. But anyway, the story behind this movie is pretty simple. Like a group of drama students, they decide to kidnap a corpse, and it's like a Vincent Price style like horror movie actor that recently died and is in this big like mausoleum tomb thing. And when they get in there, like the the whole thing like shuts down and they're trapped inside, and like it releases this ancient kind of magic that causes them to be stalked one by one while they're in the tomb. I mean, it's not
supernatural horror sort of.
Yes, yeah. The supernatural horror would probably be the best way to describe it, really. It's not my kind of movie, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a huge fan of this particular style, because it's more made like a 40s or 50s movie than it is anything else. There's a little bit of gore in it though. It's a couple like people get decapitated, things like that. But like all in all, it plays out more like a monster movie from that time period than anything else. And I guess that's what they were kind of going for.
I don't really remember this movie very much. I remember that they played it on USA a lot back in the day, like USA Up All Night and Saturday Nightmares and stuff like that. But I don't even know if I have the Vinegar Syndrome version of that. I can't remember. I'll have to go and check. But I think, because I'm taking a look at another Troma release here. I don't know for certain, but judging by the transfer on that as well, I think that they're using those Vinegar Syndrome scans for these releases.
Which, I mean, here's the thing, man. If they are doing that, I think that's a great idea of what they did. So basically, my guess is, this is what I'm assuming, they licensed these out to Vinegar Syndrome, right? Vinegar Syndrome did the scans and everything. And they had them for a certain amount of time, and then with the understanding that Troma would get them back with those scans after a period of years, and then like they could just sell them.
I think that's what's happening. It seems like that, and that is a pretty good. That's a pretty good trade, because let's be honest, Troma will try to sell these for here on out.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, I'll bet these will be a lot cheaper than the freaking Vinegar Syndrome versions, and they're the same thing, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you like, those kind of style movies, from that time period, it really is kind of a unique film for the 80s, especially the early 80s, because it's not necessarily a straight up slasher film. There is slasher elements to it, but it's more of like a ghoul monster kind of movie than it is anything else. Looking at the special features on here too, though, you've got an introduction by Lloyd Kaufman and Debbie Rochon, which I actually watched, which is fucking hilarious. Multiple commentaries. It's all it says too. It says multiple commentaries.
There's lots of commentaries.
Look at this. The back of this shit. For real.
I'm crazy.
It's just like multiple commentaries. It's like, yeah, I mean.
And much more.
They're not real big on the.
What's hilarious too is like Troma will throw stuff in. Like they have introductions from like the 80s. Like they did introductions for VHSs and shit. And they'll include stuff like that from time to time in their releases. Like stuff that is generation after generation of formats.
Yeah. I love the idea of this more so than I probably love the movie. It's got a cool plot, but also I love the idea of what Troma's doing with these two. And like I said, I'll bet you can get these like a whole hell of a lot cheaper than you can.
I think they're like $20 or something.
Yeah. And, just wait. They'll go down. I guarantee it.
Yeah. And some of these too, like when I think of Troma, I think of just goofy, like fucking like horror comedy, just the typical, like Sergeant Kabuki Man.
Yeah, it's not that at all. Like no, it's not. Yeah.
These are like movies that they licensed back in the day. Mother's Day is another one that is kind of like that.
They had a lot of cool ones like that, like Combat Shock and Mother's Day. They had some really good low budget movies that they just licensed and didn't necessarily like do.
Yeah.
That were good.
Another one though that's since you're talking trauma, let's go ahead and get rolling with the other disc that they released recently from MVD is Luther the Geek, and this is a traumatic special edition Blu-ray that Troma came out with. Vinegar Syndrome also did their edition a few years ago, and I had thought maybe that I'd seen this before, but I don't think so. I think this was the first time that I've ever watched this because there's so much fun and like over the top stupid shit in this that's just right up my alley that there's no way that I could have forgotten some of the stuff that's in this movie. Now, the movie, I think what hurts the movie more than anything is, oddly enough, just the name of the movie. It just doesn't sound like, what the fuck is Luther the Geek? Right. But this is one that was made in the late 80s. I think it did have distribution problems. I think it was much later before a lot of people even got to see this movie. And it follows this crazy ass by the name of Luther, who at a young age witnesses the circus geek bite the head off of a chicken, is just fucking inspired, I guess, right? He kind of snaps. He tastes the blood from the chicken neck or whatever, and it drove him a little mad that day as a boy. And you fast forward 20 years later, after he had committed, I think they had said multiple murders. He was up for parole already, Uncle Bill. And for some reason, they grant Luther parole. And almost immediately, Luther, with razor sharp dentures, by the way, that's his gimmick, is released and just goes on a fucking killing spree. There's no build up to it. I think ultimately, like, he gets out of the institution and goes in a grocery store and starts eating eggs, shell and all, right? He would have gotten along with the Ellie from Evil Dead. And what sets him off is this little old woman drops one of his eggs, and he just tries to bite her head off. And now everybody's looking for Luther, and he gets held up in this farmhouse where just more mayhem begins. Like, I don't even know if you would say it's not really even a slasher movie. What kind of movie would you compare this to?
I don't know, man. Like, I watched this movie way too young, and it like scarred me forever because like it's a real gritty looking, it's almost like an exploitation film, and there's certain scenes in it that it like still where like he bites the head off a chicken and all that shit. Like, that's his gimmick and everything. And it always,
the actor really does like put a chicken's head in his mouth, like a real live chicken. I'm like, God damn, boys, that's some fucking dedication. And as a kid, though, you love movies like this because there is zero character development. They don't try to tell any sort of story. It's off to the races almost immediately in this movie. Over the top gore and gag scenes and stuff like that. So it would be very like, I don't know, I'm sure it hit a mark with you at a young age.
yeah, I just always remember it like it, because it's just like you can't watch a movie like that like when you're 7 or 8 years old without constantly remembering it.
He barks like a chicken. He doesn't talk. Luther does. He's,
It's so fucking, it's such a weird movie, man. Like, it really doesn't follow a lot of like the same tropes that were going on around that time period.
It is, yeah, it is weird for sure. And there's this young, I called her a young woman, but evidently the blonde is the mother of what was her name in this? The daughter Beth. And I'm like, God damn, those girls look maybe 5 years in between ages or whatever. But that's fine. Fuck it. They're both pretty good looking women. The younger one, Beth, Stacy Haydeck is her name. Holy shit. Do you remember the knockers on that girl?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God. I couldn't believe it. I was like in awe. They were very nice. But yeah, her boyfriend's like this fucking, he looks like a 40-year-old dude. And, I mean, it's just chaos that happens with everyone within the house, and everybody's looking for Luther. And there is, I think for the budget of the movie, I think it had some pretty good gore gags in it and everything. And it's just weird. It's an odd movie. I did have a lot of fun with it. I thought some stuff was pretty stupid in it, but I think that's what they were kind of going for. This is not like a real Troma movie, though. So if you're one of those people like me that just really wants to stay away from a lot of Troma stuff, this is not. This is like a independent movie that Troma just picked up and probably just bought outright back in the day.
So
It's
get this.
actually a lot of fun.
I was looking this up just because I was curious. That actress Heidi that you mentioned, Heidi, what was her name, Maduck or
Stacy.
Stacy?
Yeah.
Yeah. She is currently on Days of Our Lives and has been since 2018. She's like a regular.
Hell yeah. So I'm sure a lot of people want to see the younger version of her and those big jugs that she was showcasing in that. Very good looking girl, though. Holy shit. But, yeah, I mean, this is cool, man. The transfer on this, like we were saying before, these are like the Vinegar Syndrome transfers, essentially. Looks great. And this is what, did you not have the Vinegar Syndrome version of this?
Oh, yeah, I've got it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've had it for a while.
So if you haven't watched the transfer of it, it's amazing how they did that. Because I'm sure it looked like pure shit before they got a hold of it.
Look, that one probably more so than like most other ones, honestly, that Troma did. Like it looked like ass. Like I guess where it was so low budget, and it always looked horrible. I remember from watching it before.
They did amazing work with this. So there's introductions in this from Lloyd Kaufman and the film's director, Carlton Albright. There's the director's commentary, cast and crew interviews, Troma Freak Show, and coming distractions, and much more. And again, they're using the original artwork on this. So I think it's pretty cool. And these are basic bitch editions. I mean, there's really no frills to this, no booklet or inside art or anything. And that's okay. I want to be like Stuart Smalley. That is okay. Because you don't need a big deluxe edition for every damn thing that comes out. But Luther the Geek, that one just came out this past week, along with the other one that Uncle Bill was showing off there, Frightmare.
It's Frightmare, god damn it.
Yeah.
So, all right, up next then is a movie that I actually grew up loving this movie. There's nothing for me to show, but I actually grew up loving this movie.
We'll put the artwork up there.
It came out like right around the right time to love an action film, because when you're growing up, this came out in 92, and this was a huge hit. And, looking back on it now, you're kind of like, why was this such a huge hit? Because Steven Seagal is the star, and he's just, I don't like, when you know now what you know about Steven Seagal and how horrible he was to work with, it's hard to like watch these movies and like them the same way. But when I was a kid, nobody knew any of that shit. Like they just thought, here's this new action star and he's great and he breaks everybody's arms and legs and everything. But this is Under Siege, of course, from 1982. This is his biggest film. And after this film, it really went downhill quickly for Steven Seagal.
So this was was it Above the Law? Was that the first like big Seagal movie?
So I'm pretty sure it was.
Kelly LeBrock was in that, right?
What? So yeah, now Kelly LeBrock was she was in Marked for Death, wasn't she?
Fuck, I don't know. I get all those confused because they were all right together. They were all pretty good.
Out for Justice, I think, was the first one. And no, I'm wrong. Okay. So Above the Law was the first one. Then Hard to Kill, then Marked for Death, then Out for Justice. So all those movies are basically the same movie, by the way.
The one I remember is where he gets like nearly killed and he's got amnesia.
That's Hard to Kill.
Was that the first one?
LeBrock. That's the second one. So Above the Law is the first one.
Okay.
Above the Law is hell, they're all basically the same kind of. He's a cop or something, and everyone.
Well, these sort of movies were crazy popular around this time. So this is late '80s, early '90s.
Yeah. So Marked for Death, which came out in '90, as well as Hard to Kill. That's the one with the Jamaicans, like the twin Jamaican guys that he kills at the end. And then right after that, you got Out for Justice, which he plays a cop in that one too. And in '92, right after Out for Justice is Under Siege. So all of those movies were successful, man. Above the Law, Hard to Kill, Marked for Death, Out for Justice, and Under Siege. He had like a string of 5 movies that were all hits. And much like Van Damme, who had a string of movies like that. And then right after this movie, it was just one. I think people just had enough of Seagal. And I think the action films have kind of surpassed him. Because, you got to think, Terminator 2 comes out, all those big time action movies start to come out, after 91, 92. But, yeah, right after he does Under Siege, then he does On Deadly Ground, which I think he directed. Then he does Under Siege 2, The Glimmer Man, and then it just, it just died.
Yeah, it quickly kind of fell apart.
But anyway, Under Siege is widely considered to be his best film and probably his most known film. It's he's for some reason I'll never forget this. His name's Casey Ryback in it. He plays a chef. I don't know why that name is always stuck.
Ryback.
Yeah.
Feed me more.
He plays a chef that is working on this huge, Navy battleship, I think, and it is taken over by a group of, let's just say, mercenaries that some of them are army, some of them are Tommy Lee Jones is a disgraced kind of, military guy in it. Gary Busey is in this, and he plays one of the officers that are on this battleship. And essentially, everybody has said, it's Die Hard on a ship, which is what it is. It's just, he's a cook on this ship. These guys, Gary Busey and Tommy Lee Jones, come in along with this whole army of these mercenaries to take the ship over. And nobody really knows he's on there or knows who he is or anything like that, because he's this ex-military fucking, super secret deadly weapon. And he just kind of goes through the ship saving everybody. And along the way meets Erica Laniak, who, if you were adolescent at this time period, the scene. I don't even have to tell you the scene. And you know what the scene is.
It almost seems like women aren't built like that anymore.
That's true.
Especially in mainstream movies. She had it going on around this time. That's all you can say. My God.
Well, she did a couple movies back to back where you're just mother of God. She had what was it, Chasers?
Chasers. She's got that one scene in Chasers.
She did. What was the other one she did too with
Beverly Hillbillies? She was in that.
Yeah. So, and she did this, and this one to me is
something that is a little bit of trivia for you guys, though. She was in E.T. as an extra before she
classroom scene,
even got into acting. Yeah, as a little kid. Yeah. Yes, a lot of. I don't even know if she's credited. She might be now, but I think at one time she wasn't even credited with that movie. But I always remember that's her. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that scene alone should live in it. That scene to me is my version of Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I probably paused and rewound that like 4 million times.
Well, and the 4K version too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So anyway, as I was watching this movie again for the first time in I don't know how many years, it became really clear to me why this movie is as successful as it is. It's because Steven Seagal's not really in the movie that much, and the majority of time is spent with like Tommy Lee Jones and Gary Busey, who are both amazing in their roles in this movie. And that's why it works, really. It's not really to have anything to do with Steven Seagal. He just shows up every now and then to break somebody's arm or stick a knife in somebody's head or something.
Steven Seagal was like the selling point there very briefly, late 80s, early 90s. And yeah, like you were saying, Under Siege is pretty much the peak of that popularity during that time. He may have had some decent movies after this, but nothing that ever struck every chord correctly and did, and made money too. This was like a kind of a hit movie.
Yeah, it was huge. I was looking at like the box office for this too before we did it, and it's like it made basically $160 million worldwide on a budget of like 15 million. So
That's
it was
insane.
a huge fucking hit, to say the least. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely the biggest hit he ever had, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, it did nothing even really came close, I don't think, to that again or before that. But he's a perfect example though of a guy that was like Van Damme or, those guys that came up around that time period in the 80s. Just an action star that kind of comes out of nowhere and does very similar films like that, and then has like a big film. So I think for Van Damme, it was Universal Soldier. Like that was the one that really broke and made like a lot of money. But this is like that version for him. I can't say anything good about Steve Seagal because I've heard so many horrible stories about that guy that it's hard to. But this movie is 100% his best film, in my opinion. It may not be like the film you like the most, because depending on what you grew up with, you might like, some of those others, but it is his best film.
And it's
Best
kind of
made
an
far.
interesting choice for Arrow to go with for 4K as well, because I mean, this kind of fits with some of their stuff, but not a lot. Like they don't release a lot of stuff like this from this time period, especially. And rumor is that there's at least one more Seagal movie that they're doing a 4K, remaster special edition of. What other one would you like to see them do?
Any of those first four that I mentioned. I love all those movies. Like they're like guilty pleasures of mine because they suck so much, and like they're just, some of the effects in them are so bad now too. Like if you like him snapping dummies' arms and shit, like it's clearly a dummy. Like, but I would say like the one that I want to see the most again is Marked for Death, just because I remember how goofy the ending of that movie is. So,
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one also came out recently from Arrow Video. Man, Arrow's going to have a tough time though beating their 2025. They've made some pretty good announcements so far for 2026, but we'll just have to wait and see. Another
Real
studio
quick.
though. Yeah.
I just want to mention the special features on this real quick. On the Under Siege edition, you've got the brand new 4K restoration of the film that was approved by the director. You've got a brand new audio commentary with director Andrew Davis and writer J.F. Lawton. I'm on a Boat with a Bomb, a newly filmed interview with director Andrew Davis. I don't think the sad news is they didn't get anything with Seagal, I don't think, which is weird because like,
Isn't he held up in Russia or something though?
yeah, but I mean, like you think there'd be some archival material that was Seagal or something too, but there's not, unfortunately.
No.
So, yeah.
But yeah.
There is, however, and I watched a little bit of this too because I'm just curious, like what she looks like now. Newly filmed interview with actress Erica Laniak. Let me tell you something. Still holding up.
She's still got a thing. Even if she's got 10% of what she had back in the early 90s, I mean, that's still going to be hotter than most women. Let's be honest.
Yep.
Woo.
Yeah.
Thuffer and Thuckatath, baby. And what was the transfer like on this?
I mean, as outstanding as it could be, considering it's mostly like, on a boat. You know what I mean? There's no like scenery to really like capture a lot of the qualities that like HDR can do. But like, it's great for what it is too.
Awesome. So the last one that I got, and it kind of goes with a release that Uncle Bill has as well, so we'll kind of do these together, is, and at first I was thinking, oh, this is just going to be funnier than shit because we're going to review these movies. But then I watched this movie, and I'd seen it before, but it had been many years. This movie is making me feel really old because this movie is 31 years old this year. We are taking a look at the Babe movies that Kino Lorber, this is part of their Studio Classics line. A Little Pig Goes a Long Way in Babe in 4K Blu-ray combo. 4K of the Babe movies, Uncle Bill. And
I didn't know that
DEADPIT
that was the
are gonna review them.
tagline.
Yeah.
Oh, God. A little pig goes a long way. Okay.
So, talking animal movies were all the rage, and mainly for the popularity of this movie. Like, this was 1995. There were probably talking animal movies before this, but this movie exploded when it came out. Kids went fucking ape shit when this came out. So much so that the following year, there was like a rip-off Babe movie, and I'm hoping Kino gets it, called Gordy. Like a Big Lots like Babe movie. And this movie still like, I mean, they did some early CGI effects in this, but they also used, it was Jim Henson's studio to make like prop versions of some of the animals because a lot of the computer effects weren't really ready at the time. And dude, I gotta admit, like, I love this movie. Like, I just had a lot of fun watching this. It's almost like an adventure type fantasy sort of movie, about little pig Babe, who is taken away from his mom at a young age, and Farmer Hoggett. So I always thought that was funny. The farmer's name was Hoggett. He goes to Hoggett's farm, wins Babe at a fair, planning to, have some cooked ham big enough. But he's a runt. He doesn't get big enough for Christmas ham, for Christmas dinner. And slowly but surely, the Hoggets and all of the animals which you learn to, you get to know as the movie goes along, they kind of fall in love with Babe. Babe is like their friend. And he is raised by sheepdogs at a young age, and he thinks he's a sheepdog, right? And it kind of culminates, I think they enter Babe in the sheep herding tournament or something at the county fair. And it's just a fun, like, there's not a lot of movies that do this successfully, but I think this one did, where there's nothing really, no one is, I mean, there's threats of eating Babe and cooking him and shit, but there's never any like, and that's rare because you usually see some sort of danger or something, culminates at the end, like Babe's gonna get fucking thrown in a meat grinder or whatever else, but they don't do that. And the funny thing about this is too, and I was doing some research on this movie's filmed in Australia, and George Miller was working on this movie for over a decade before it finally got made. And it's the same George Miller that's responsible for, the Mad Max and Road Warrior movies and everything.
Yep.
And that's very interesting because the look of this movie is great. And it is a movie that I think benefits from the 4K. Believe it or not, the visuals in it are really, really good. The performance, like the vocal, I'm not sure who did all the, the voiceover work for it and everything was awesome. And people are probably going to laugh. I don't give a shit. I had a fun time with this movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. It is, if you got young kids and you're finding like, everybody's sick to death of hearing that goddamn Bluey song, right?
Yeah.
Or just shit like that that'll annoy the fuck out of you. This is something solid that I guarantee little kids will be fascinated with. They will be obsessed when you put this on. And the next time our little nephew comes down here, I'm going to try it out because I am almost guaranteeing that he will be amazed for an hour and a half of this movie. So, and this movie, like, it did very well. I think that this was a huge success, like we were saying. Anytime there's a rip-off version of a movie that comes out, somebody did something right. And I think Gordy was even kind of a hit, oddly enough. The rip-off version was a hit. But there's some extra features on this, too. I'm not really sure what kind of release Babe got before this. And hats off to Kino. Like, they just don't care. It's like, yeah, it's coming out in 4K. We're doing it. And they're doing it in Blu-ray as well, which a lot of companies aren't doing.
They do.
But audio commentary with the writer and producer George Miller. There's an audio commentary, film historian and writer Julie Kurgo, and writer and filmmaker Peter Hankoff. What a name. That'll Do Pig an interview with actor James Cromwell, who is still alive, by the way. He was Farmer Hoggett in this movie. I think he's got to be close to 90 years old at this point. Making Pigs Talk, an interview with George Miller, the Making of Babe archival featurette, George Miller on Babe archival featurette, and theatrical trailer. Yeah, lots of special features, man, for a Kino release. And, yeah, but that's only half of the story, right, Uncle Bill?
I swear to God, there must have been a thing around this time period where not only was like, were the talking animal movies the rage, but also if you did a sequel, you were going in the city. Like that was the gimmick. If you remember Home Alone and then Home Alone 2, well, this is Babe 2, Pig in the City. Like
look at that fucking cover. In the heart of the city, a pig with a heart. That's just so great.
So this is a little bit different though. Like when Babe came out, I was 14, I think. And like everybody watched that movie, man. Like every single person that was any age of like even a teenager to a kid loved that movie. A lot of adults love that movie. It's such a simple premise to a movie, but it like completely worked. And this came out in 98. And I think by then, like, I wasn't watching. It was like we were seniors in high. We weren't watching like fucking Babe movies.
We were being made fun of, yeah.
I hadn't seen this or anything. And it's really good. Oddly, I don't think I like it as much as I do the original one. I just think that one is like just a genuinely great film for anybody. But it's really not as bad as like people would probably let on that it is, or the box office numbers for it would let on that it was, because it flopped. It was like
I think they may have waited too long.
Definitely
a movie as popular as that, the sequel should have been out the next year. But as much as goes into those movies, they probably couldn't have done that. It would have been impossible. Yeah.
So like I was looking at the numbers, and I think it lost somewhere in the I want to say it lost $30 to $40 million. Actually, it had a budget of $90 million. Man, I was amazed to hear that. Like for that time period, but like it only made like 60. So it was a pretty bad flop, honestly, for that time period. But you were talking about George Miller. He directed this movie, and I was just like, man, that guy has had the weirdest damn career of anybody. So George Miller in 1979, he does Mad Max. Then he does Road Warrior, Mad Max 2. Then he does a segment in the Twilight Zone movie. Then he does another Road Warrior movie. Then he does The Witches of Eastwick. Then he does Lorenzo's Oil, which, if you remember that, that was like an Oscar-winning movie. Then in 95, he does Babe. Then Babe Pig in the City. And then he waits another 10 years and does Happy Feet.
He's just everywhere, man.
And then he waits another, let's see, 10 years and does Fury Road. What a fucking...
And all these movies were pretty much successful in some way, except for maybe Babe 2.
Yeah, I mean, that's the odd part about it is like they're all successful, but they're completely different in genres. Anyway, back to Babe 2, though. So Babe 2 is very similar to Home Alone 2. There's a lot of like comparisons you could draw from like Home Alone 2. So in this one, at the beginning of the film, the farmer gets hurt in an accident that happens because of Babe. And like he is kind of like bedridden, he can't do anything, and they're threatening like to take the farm away and all this shit. And because of that, Babe has to go into the city basically to give like a shortened version of the events.
He's going to try to rescue the farm.
That's basically what he's doing. Yeah. In the middle of that, he meets like a bunch of different animals, and one of the animals actually like causes him to take the wrong flight to the location that he was going to help, like, you know, rescue the city or rescue the farm. And he gets lost in the city. It's basically the same fucking plot.
Babe is lost in the city.
Yeah. So the whole rest of the movie is just him running into different kinds of animals. He runs into, let me see, like chimpanzees, ducks, dogs, birds, just like all kinds of different, and they all have like different little side stories that go into the movie that interconnect with him, like, you know, trying to get through the city. And they all, of course, have their own little language and stuff like that. And they're all like running around, and you get to know them, and you actually like kind of like some of them too. Their dialogue is same thing, lip synced, as same way as Babe's is.
The technology probably moved along a little further. Maybe they relied a little bit more on CG in the sequel.
Yep, there was a lot of that too. A lot of the characters in the movie that are they're voiced by, I won't say famous actors, but famous like voice actors and things like that too. So there is some cool stuff in it. But
I think it's fun that, and Kino, man, this is the thing. Like, if they get a property, they're going to release all kinds of, like, they could have done a box set of both of these, and they may eventually do a box set and include both of them in one set. But yeah, man, it seems like they do not care. They're going to do like the Kino Lorber Studio Classic style, and they're going to do them in 4K. And it seems like they're all, I don't know if you've noticed this, most of their stuff now, it's all 4K. If it's something that they've never came out with before, it's a 4K and Blu-ray combo.
That's what this is.
And it's just so great.
Yeah. Yeah. What we're doing reviewing these, I will have never know, but like, here it is.
Yeah, and here's the original, boss. A Little Pig goes a long way. I highly recommend these movies, man. Mm-hmm. Especially like if you've got kids or if you grew up around this time period and watched these movies. This totally holds up. I was shocked. I remember it being a pretty good movie, but man, I did not think that I would like it as much as I like it today.
Yeah.
And
that movie is more of like a really dramatic, just set in one place kind of, you know, drama more so than anything else. This is like a road movie. This is essentially like, I know that's weird to say.
That one's got the best cover, though. Look at that. That's just so amazing.
Picture that big. Like,
It's like, hey.
So there you go. We reviewed
The Babe.
Babe. There's really not.
We were threatening it for a while, but yeah, it finally happened.
There's not a lot of special features on there. There is a interview with George Miller on that disc, though, which is the biggest special feature.
Awesome. So we got a very special one, though, that I think you're closing the show with, right?
This might surprise people. I can't lie, man. That's the thing. Like, I can't just, like, I went into this movie with the idea that, like, no matter what, because I've heard like a lot of bad things about this movie, and I've heard like a lot of bad things from, you know, a couple of people that like we co-host, you know, Friday Night Lives. But I just came to the conclusion I was just going to watch this movie. So, but I went into this movie and I'm like, I'm just going to watch the fucking movie, and I'm not going to like think about anything else, like anything anybody said about it. And I'm just going to watch it and take it for what it is and see like what I think about it. This is Predator Badlands, and it's a Disney movie. So the very first thing that I noticed, anyway, Disney, I think, has rights to the franchise. I'm not going to say it's a Disney movie per se. The very first thing that I noticed is this is not a Predator movie. I mean, it is in name, but it is not like they probably could have done this with any movie and just called it something else and just, you know, maybe adjusted the look of the main guy and it would have worked, because it's not really Predator. It's like, I don't know, how do I explain? Like a Guardians of the Galaxy kind of version of Predator almost. Like, so you've got like a moral kind of Predator that wants to get back at his father because his father tried to kill him and didn't accept him, and he was like the runt of the family. And if you're apparently the runt of a Predator family, like you just get killed. Like that's just how it works. They say they cull their weakest link so like it doesn't, you know, move on another generation. But anyway, so that's kind of the start of the film. The start of the film is like the main character, whose name is Dex or Dix or something. I don't know. It's Dex or Dex or something. Who's the Predator that we follow in this film? He and his brother, who like actually get along really, really well, are, you know, kind of like waiting around like for their father to get back. The father gets back and the father is like, why haven't to the other brother, like, why haven't you killed him? Like, he's a runt, like he should be taken care of already. Like, we don't allow that to happen. And the brother fights the father Predator to keep the guy alive. He escapes and he goes off to this fucking magical land where he's trying to kill this huge mythical beast. And if he does that, then he brings honor to his family and like proves that he can be a predator. That's basically what the movie's about. So along the way, he meets Elle Fanning. I think that's who that is, who is like this android who has also been sent to kill this beast with a bunch of different androids, but it fucks like all their whole company up. And
so now it's like Terminator versus Predator.
Yeah, kinda. But she's good. That's it. Well, she's good, but she has like a android sister that's bad. So getting to that. But he packs her around basically like, because she's split in half where she got into the fight with this giant like creature. And he's just packing her on his back and shit, and they're running around and they're going through the forest. It's almost like Labyrinth. Like there's little creatures that come out and they all like have like, you know, they're all kind of like these different kind of like, everything in the forest wants to kill you, by the way. Like there's a razor grass, these things that shoot poison darts out at you, dragons, these creatures that like try to like suck you up and like eat you like from treetops. Anyway, that's the whole like environment of this place.
Now, with this movie, was this out in movie theaters? How did they release this? Because I think it was almost like, did it debut on streaming, or it may have been in some theaters, but the release of this is kind of wonky from what I can remember. I know a lot of people.
It was released in theaters, yeah.
Okay.
So let's see. Premiered at the Chinese theater, and so on a budget of 105 million, it grossed 184 million. So it didn't do great, considering probably like you have to make like double or triple of the money back from that, and it didn't do that.
For it to be worth their while.
But I bet it did better on streaming, actually, like a lot better.
Yeah.
So
they're making a lot of Predator and Alien movies these days, don't you think?
Yes. And to be honest, like I can understand why they're known like commodities, and that's basically like all they want to do now. I can see why people hate this movie, and I'll tell you why. Because if you're a diehard like Predator fan, this movie will fucking infuriate you, because the Predator is not the Predator's the good guy, and it's also like there's all kinds of these side companions that you could tell they were trying to make into like a family friendly style movie. So there's this little creature, and the best way I can describe him is like, you know that thing Dana had for a while as like a mascot? What the hell was it called?
Oh,
That's exactly what it looks like, man. Like, I wish that there was a better descriptor for it, but it looks exactly like that. And it's like the sidekick, like the comedic sidekick. It comes up in the forest to the Predator, and he takes it under his wing, and like it becomes like the side character, like Rocket Raccoon or you know what I mean? Like something like that from one of those.
So it sounds like this was almost more or less like an adventure sort of movie too.
It's 100% that, and
it's odd.
It's not a Predator movie. Like if you go into it and you're thinking like, okay, this is going to be like any of the previous Predator
it's
movies.
It's a part of the Predator universe though, right?
Yeah, and let's just say that the look of the Predator is not great. I mean, he looks really, really bad CG shit, you know, with the face and everything. I feel like they could have done that better somehow, and I'm not sure like how, but maybe with more practical kind of effects.
Now, am I wrong in this though? Is the Predator, the original Predator was like a giant. He was like 7 foot tall, right?
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore, do they? The Predators now are like normal.
Well, they didn't in this one because he was supposed to be the runt of the family. So like he's just like a regular sized guy, I guess. Like,
so I was going to say they should have got like, I don't know, Rick Smits or somebody to be the fucking Predator and have him be even bigger.
Rick Smith, the Dunkin' Dutchman, yeah. They should have got
He's
him
like
in
7'6", man.
That name recognition right there alone would have made it like another
Rick
50 million.
Smits is the Predator.
Fuck. Jorge Murison. Got his ass.
He's still alive. Yeah, they can hear him. He's almost 8 feet tall. Sean Bradley.
So Elle Fanning is actually really good in this movie, and she plays two roles. She plays like one android that's like the good android, the one that's like the bad. And it really is kind of like, it's one of those like movies where you're watching it and you're like, they're trying to appeal to everybody in this movie because, you know, the Predator has like a story arc and turns out to be good, and Elle Fanning turns out to be good, and she fights her bad evil sister in it. Then you got the little creature running around that's like, you know, they just want to make action film or action figures and shit out of it and sell it to little kids. It's like, okay, so we've gone from like a really serious R-rated action film to basically like a PG family Predator film. And that's what it is. It looks more like a damn like one of those new Star Wars films than it does anything else. But all that being said, like I enjoyed it. Like I couldn't help myself. Like I tried to hate it.
Is it a
But
long movie or did they?
no, it's not that long. I'd say it's like an hour and 40 maybe if I something like that. Let me look.
That's not asking too much then. I mean, I think a lot of these big budget action movies, part of the problem is they ask too much of the audience. Action movies, in my opinion, hour and a half, hour and 40, hour and 45 minutes max. Don't go any further than that. And that's the problem with those fucking superhero movies, man. Like, it's just too much of an investment. For one thing, they're not really good movies anyway, superhero movies. But especially sitting your ass in a movie theater for 2.5, 3 hours. Like, goddamn, bulls. I got better things to do than that shit all day.
Yeah, anything over 2 hours, like you probably unless you're like an epic film, you kind of lose me after that anyway. I just don't think if the mindset is an action film, like an 80s style action film, or like a really like bloody gore and guts, kind of movie like the original Predator was, or like a lot of those sequels like Alien versus Predator and all that shit was, you are not going to like this movie. Like this movie was not made with that in mind. This movie, like I said, looks and plays out much more like a Star Wars, like a modern Star Wars film. I think it does it actually better than those movies, though, to be honest. It's an entertaining movie. I can't help but think that it's an entertaining movie. Like I tried really hard to find a lot of flaws in it, and there are flaws in it, but like it's not
The worst thing ever.
No, and it's not an unwatchable film. It's better than about 80% of the shit that I've seen.
Yeah. Take that, Rambo. You negative motherfucker.
It's just not a bad
Bitching
film.
all the time.
But like I said, I get why he hates it because it's not like Predator movies. And I don't think it was made with that audience in mind, to be honest. I think it was made with like, teenagers in mind.
I had this rule though for me, and I talk about this anytime anybody talks about either an Alien or Predator movie. We got Alien versus Predator Requiem for review. This was back around when we were getting the Blu-rays for free for the first. Like I don't even think you had a Blu-ray player then. This was like the early days, so anything they were offering on Blu-ray, I was asking for it, and I was excited because this is what year was Alien versus Predator Requiem? Like 2008.
That's what I was saying. 2007, yeah.
And I sat there watching that, forcing myself through the entire fucking movie. And like the whole movie, you cannot make out much of anything that's going, because the effects were so fucking bad, they just decided to just darken the entire goddamn movie. Like you couldn't see hardly anything in it. And at that point in time, I made the conscious decision. I'm done with Alien movies, I'm done with Predator movies, and I'm done with Alien versus Predator movies. So from that point on, I haven't seen anything since then.
Yeah.
I don't intend to.
I mean, that's understandable. I just think that this one plays out purposefully like an 80s, not like an 80s action film, but more like an 80s film, like like the Goonies or something, where it has like a happy ending. Like most of the Predator films don't necessarily have like what you would say happy. But I will say this. One thing that's different about this movie than a lot of the movies that I've watched recently that came out in theaters is like the dialogue is good. The acting is good from the actual like people that are acting, and everything makes sense about like what the characters would do all the way to the end of the movie. So you don't see that a lot. Like usually you just feel like a movie like these days is just they tried to force a bunch of shit in to get to some sort of ending, and it really doesn't make sense with like what any of the characters would actually be like. But this one actually seems to work in terms of the character's arc and the plot. So I never got bored with it, and I never like it never took me out of the movie or anything like that. I watched it straight through and thought that it was a good movie, and I can't help it. I apologize to Rambo in advance because I know he's going to give me shit about this for the rest of my life. But fuck, he likes Congo, so what can you do?
Something else that's interesting too that I wanted to mention on here is these studios are starting to give digital copy codes out for shit to review. And they're starting to send more and more shit that you don't even ask for. And it's like, oh, here's the digital. That's kind of cool, man. I kind of like that. It's very convenient, especially like if you're doing a show like this. I didn't, unfortunately, watch Predator Badlands, but we could have easily both watched it and reviewed it.
Yeah, I think that works better somehow, really.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know.
There's a couple more that we've added on there, too. There's some Brendan Fraser movie that somebody sent us. I can't remember the name, but maybe we'll review it someday. Maybe we won't. Who's to say? But that is it. That one came out on 4K, though, too. It is out on physical. But we reviewed the Movies Anywhere copy. But yeah, that is it for the show, guys. We appreciate everybody watching. If you've seen any of the movies, let us know in the comments what you think about them. Individual timestamps to go directly to whatever you want to, and the links to all of the other Dead Pit is Watching episodes. And this coming Sunday, unless something changes, who knows? It's changed before. Hopefully not. The horror auction, horror movies and memorabilia with us, Creepy Kentucky and Uncle Bill, Garrett, and Slippy. And Slippy's got some really cool shit, man. He showed some of it the other night. Did you happen to see this?
No, but here's my thing. I don't want to end up buying shit off of him. I know that's what's going to end up happening. I'm going to be like...
One thing that he did show, though, and I'm like, God damn, you and Garrett may have a bidding war for this thing. It's a big metallic proof sheet of all three of the Trick or Treat covers on one sheet,
wow.
Like an uncut, those trading cards on an uncut sheet.
Yeah.
It's like that, but all three of the covers on one big metallic sheet. I don't know what you'd ever do with it, but it's really cool looking.
I don't know either, but like, I can only imagine the shit that he's got.
There's only one. That's one of one, too.
Yeah.
You get Slippy to sign it, put one of one on there. You might be able to retire with it one day.
Definitely get him to sign it.
All right, guys, but we will see you then. Got a lot more stuff coming. And remember that we over here, Dead Pit
is watching.
A big thanks goes out to our supporters over at Dead Pit on Patreon.com. You can get hours upon hours of great content, right, Uncle Bill?
There's so many hours of content. We've got reviews. We've got songs. We've got live streams. We've got exclusive streams. We've got non-exclusive streams. We've got streams with all kinds of celebrities and all kinds of different old shows from the past podcast, the initial incarnation of the show. All of that can be yours.
Dead Pit on Patreon.com. Show us a little bit of love. Give us some money because we definitely deserve it. That Patreon page is so killer that you'll rub your bird to it on a nightly basis. It's that good.
You won't be able to contain yourself. You'll have to jerk your bird out and go crazy. I mean, that's how much content that we have. So much content that it's massive, and it will massively smack you in the face.
You'll play with your bird so much, pretty soon you'll be looking around for somebody else's bird to play with.
Hey everybody, it's your favorite Filipino bitch, Miss Slatco Fudd, telling you about shop.deadpit.com. Simply the best horror shirts. On TeePublic, there are others, but they all suck. And it's the best goddamn deal on horror shirts you will ever see. New shirts, old shirts, all the in-between shirts. God damn it, bulls, go over to shop.deadpit.com. You ain't down with that. You can go to fucking hell.